There are many ways that newspapers from the 1970s can help collectors of vintage electronics. First, we have to appreciate that there was no internet, no database of electronics that was being maintained. Companies who still exist from that era often have little printed material about their own devices, although circuit diagrams can be found. Simple newspaper advertisements can supply information that many collectors are seeking, including approximate date of manufacture, the duration of manufacture, and the price of the item back in the day. I use newspaper archives extensively in my collecting of flip clocks, and the primary online resource I use is newspapers.com. Newspapers.com has been around since 2012. It was launched by Ancestry.com as a way to house their massive collection of digitized historical newspapers in one dedicated search platform. While the site itself is relatively young compared to some genealogy tools, it has grown rapidly. As of 2026, it hosts over 1 billion pages from more than 30,000 different newspaper titles worldwide. Newspapers in the 1970s. Scanning through advertisements from the 1970s, some things stand out. While photography was becoming cheaper, many local and national newspaper ads still relied on hand-drawn art because it printed more clearly on cheap, porous newsprint than did grainy photos. As someone who loves retro, I enjoyed the style of the art of many of these advertisements. This has got to be my prime example. Here is a Copal 101, complete with flowers. Not sure why, but there it is. I really like this advertisement since the Copal 101 is probably my favorite flip clock. So what can I do with this? Well, I could colorize it. I could make it part of other artworks. I could get someone to paint it on a train. I've always liked train art. It would also look good on a wall. It could make a good tattoo. Maybe no. But perhaps it would look good on a shirt. Yes, that's it. Perfect. It would also lend itself to a comic strip. But in all seriousness, looking at all these advertisements has been very helpful over the years. Consider this example. The Howard Miller cylinder clock, at times, was said to have been produced in the 1950s. That would be a good trick because the Copal 101 mechanism that it used came out in 1964. But using newspapers.com, we can see that it was first advertised in 1967 and continued on until about 1971. Here are some more examples of flip clocks in 1970s newspaper advertising. While not a necessity for collecting vintage flip clocks, newspaper advertisements go a long way in providing a sense of background regarding the hobby. Well, thanks for taking the time.